Hey there everyone, coming at you with a video. It's going to be the first video that I've made of this type, where I'm not just playing the game, I'm trying to explain something specific to you. This is something I'm going to start doing more because the game was announced to be finalized recently, which means they're not going to be changing anything, so I don't have to like update this video or delete it or whatever when it eventually becomes wrong. I know it'll be right, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it. What we're going to do here is we're going to start the game. I'm going to be explaining how to get to the first secret area in the game, one of several, and it's called the Oasis. All you do is you start up the game, and once you're in the desert, any desert level, 1 through 3 will do, so if you screw it up on the first level, don't worry. And you just open the 3 chests. There's an ammo chest, a weapon chest, and a radiation canister. And if you open up all 3 of those, without killing anything, you can sometimes kill like 1 or 2 enemies, but you pretty much don't want to kill anything. If you manage to do that, then Big Bandit will jump out of the wall like you saw there, and you just kill him as quickly as you possibly can. If you take too long, this won't work, you'll just go to the sewers. But if you do kill him quickly enough, then you'll get this new area called the Oasis. Just a little underwater secret. There's not a whole lot going on in here. There are some unique enemies, like you see these bonefish here. There are also the mines, which you saw explode and sent out like a star pattern of projectiles, just projectiles in like 8 different directions, I think. And then these guys, the hermit crabs with the drums on their back, are like scorpions, but they shoot their rads or whatever in sort of a V pattern. So if you stand right in front of them, you're usually safe, and they'll just shoot it around you. And then you can see over here, where I'm waving my cursor, there's a clamshell. That's what the weapon chest looks like on this level. So if you see a clamshell, you can run over and open it to grab whatever's inside. And yeah, you just come in here, kill some bonefish, some hermit crabs, a couple of bandits. Those are the only enemies that appear here, unless you're on loop, which would be crazy. Don't try to come here on loop. But, yeah, that's the Oasis. You come in here, your character and all the enemies have a little bubble, by the way. Unless you're playing as Fish or the Robot. Fish doesn't need an air bubble because he's a fish. Robot doesn't breathe air, so he's good. And actually, Young Venus, the character I'm playing right now... Oh, is that the air horn sound? That's what YV's air horn sounds like down here. I didn't know they changed that. Learn something new all the time. Anyway, YV only has an air bubble so his money doesn't get wet, because YV doesn't need to breathe anyway. He's a gun god. But when you come out of the Oasis, you're already at Big Dog's fight. So you went from level 1 to Oasis to Big Dog. It's kind of a huge jump. It's kind of massive, really. And obviously the skip is useful just for not having to do several levels. It's useful for speedruns. That's the only time I come here, is if I'm speedrunning the game. And it's also useful because it lowers the difficulty of the game. The way difficulty works in this game is it starts out at like either 0 or 1, I don't recall. But it starts out very low, obviously, and then every single time you pass through a portal to another level, it will increase the difficulty by 1. So, obviously skipping all those levels decreased the difficulty by a huge amount, because we didn't go through all those portals, we didn't have all those difficulty increases. And yeah, so now there will be less enemies for the rest of the game, just because of that lower difficulty. The other side effect, aside from enemy count of difficulty, is the weapon drops. You've probably noticed, if you've played this game very much, that the later you go into the game, the better the weapons get, the crazier the weapons get. You'll get a laser sword later on, or a double flame shotgun or whatever, but that never drops in the desert, right? That's because every time the difficulty increases, so does the pool of weapons that can potentially drop. Crazier weapons get added as the difficulty increases. So while taking this shortcut does decrease the number of enemies you'll encounter, it also really hurts your chances of getting a nice weapon. You won't see the nice weapons until much later in the game. So that's definitely something worth considering, something you want to think about if you're going to take this skip. But ultimately, I think it's mostly just a speedrun thing, or just, you know, shits and giggles now and then, just have some fun. And go to a level that maybe you haven't been to in a while, just a change of scenery, you know? It's a fun little thing. I hope you have some fun with it yourself. And yeah, that should about do it. I've got nothing more to say on the subject. Have fun with your Oasis trips. I'm just gonna run into this crystal dude. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you come back for more secret videos and such in the future. Peace.